Hello and welcome to the Sacred Vision Life interview series. And we are here in April of 2016. And today we are going to be talking about ways to connect to your inner illumination for creating the business of your dreams. And here to talk to us today is Kristina Shands. And she helps ambitious female entrepreneurs launch their work into the world so that they can make a bigger impact and earn more money. And to do all of that with ease and fun. And I'm so excited to welcome her today. Thank you so much for joining us, Kristina.
Sorry. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here.
Great. So let's just start off by telling us a little bit more about yourself, about your business, and how it is that you work with your clients to help them find that inner illumination.
All right. Well, I started off as a fundraising consultant and then worked my way into copywriting and then worked with some really great people on launches. And then I thought, hey, I love to launch. It's fun. It brings together my marketing skills, my copywriting skills, and my impact skills together to help people find their voice and bring more confidence into their business. And that really is something that I love about launches and about messaging, is that you can't really have a successful launch without finding your voice and sharing it with the world. And a launch should be, in your business and your marketing should help you feel more confident in what you're doing. And if anything that you do doesn't bring you confidence, you should really stop doing it. And but I see it a lot. I mean, like I see a lot of people, saying, doing videos, even though they don't want to, and they're just like, every time they're just beaten down because it's not going the way they want it to. And I'm just like, stop, do what you love, and you will make more money at it. And the more I work with clients, either one-on-one or in small group trainings, the more I see that when you listen to what you truly want and stop listening to what everyone else says you should be doing, that's when you take off. There's nothing, I mean, I've seen some of the craziest business models or some of the craziest business ideas, and people are making millions. And so there's nothing that you can come up with that's so weird or so out there that you can't make money doing it. There's nothing.
Sure.
So why not do what you love instead of what everyone says you should do?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we do things that we should do, just that using that word should, it doesn't feel good in our bodies. It doesn't feel like it's a match. Oh, I've been told to do it this way, so I should do it that way. And I'm really realizing that this year as I'm going through and trying some new things, and I am really doing my best to flow with that ease that we're going to talk more about. Because it's, slowing down to speed up. We were talking about that just a few minutes ago. And when we slow down, that's when we get to embody. Yeah. I mean, it's great to have a template and to have a set of steps to take ourselves through. But then when we take them through them, we have to ask that question, how does that apply to me, to my own energy? And how can I embody this in a way that really shares my gifts?
Exactly. I think one of the things that we are missing, as not just as business owners, but as a humanity, I think, is I call it the 4 C's: compassion, connection, creativity, and community. And the more we have that in the world, and the more we have that in our business, with our clients, with other entrepreneurs and strategic partnerships, with our family, and with ourselves, the more successful we will all be. And, compassion and empathy go hand in hand. And when you can really step into your ideal clients' lives and what they're struggling with, and the voices that are going on in their head, the easier it'll be for you to speak to them and for them to just come straight to you. It's like, I don't know, how many times you've been on a website and you've read the copy. Maybe it's someone you've never even seen before or heard before, and then you just know, like, bam, she gets me. I don't know who this person is. She gets me. That's someone who really has embodied their ideal client and can really walk in their shoes and understands their struggle and their desires both. And that's where we want to get when we're talking about, this doesn't just apply to your business. If you have if you're out in the real world and you want someone to do something with you or for you, or if you want to impact someone, you have to know what they're feeling. You have to know what to do to persuade them to take action. So we can kind of use this embodying idea or this concept everywhere in our lives, and especially in our business.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. I know I try to use it with my daughters all the time to get them to do what I would like them to do. You know, there's teaching moments, but then there's moments when you just got to get things done.
Exactly.
And I know that definitely happens. Now, as we were talking too, we were talking about embodying your ideal client. Mm-hmm. So and I was saying that there feels like there needs to be kind of one step before that. So just quickly, kind of just share with the audience what you shared with me earlier about that step before we can get to embodying our clients.
Yeah, I think that you have to be really true to who you are and your why, your purpose, and what you want to do. Mm-hmm. If you are not in complete alignment with the universe or with your soul or your spirit, whatever terms you want to use, and you try to call in people into your world and you're unaligned, they're going to be very confused. Like you can't show up one way and speak one way and expect them to. It's like there's a disconnect. You have to listen to really what your heart. I call it your heart's whispers, or the whispers of your heart, which I think is such a beautiful phrase, because we all have them, and so many of us are not listening, or we're thinking, oh, I'll do that later, or I just went through this myself in my business. Like I have this vision of helping women around the world find their voice and stand in their power, and I was separating that from my business, and it took a really close friend to kind of smack me upside the head and say, you're doing it. Like, what do you mean you're not doing that in your business? You work with them and you're bringing them, giving them a voice and helping them find their confidence. And I'm like, yeah, but that's launches. I want to do this for the world. And she's like, are they not on the world? Like that was so crazy. So I think that, if you're feeling a disconnect and you're feeling out of alignment, how can you get back into alignment? And it could be as simple as a quick reframe, or it could be that you need to change your business around. And an example I shared with you is that I talked to someone yesterday who kept saying that she needed to do her photography work and she needed to do brand photography. And then she had mentioned that she really loved to do coaching and getting people connected to their ancient souls. And her voice like lit up, and I got goosebumps, and I was like, whoa, what? She was like, yeah, that's really what I'm passionate about doing. But everyone I talk to says I should do this, I should do weddings and stuff. And I'm like, okay, stop. She no wonder she was spinning her wheels, because she was doing stuff that she didn't want to do, but because people were telling her she should do, because those are the business models that they're seeing. And I know, and you probably do too, a whole other world where, people are actually getting paid to help to connect people to their souls and to connect them to their angels. There's a way to do what you really love to do. And she actually has a gift where she can combine the two. And so to only do one part of your soul and not do the other, and not to honor the other part, it's like you're walking around with an arm cut off, it's like, why would you only show up halfway to your clients? Mm-hmm. So, if you're going to embody your clients, you better embody your desires and what you want first. Otherwise, you're only giving them part of what you're here to give them. And that's not fair to anyone. Sure. And I also really believe, and may get pushback on this, but I believe as coaches, a lot of times we let our clients off the hook by letting them take the easy way out. I could easily have said to her, yeah, you're right, you should just follow this business model. It works for all these other photographers. Because that I can do for her in 3 months. In 3 months of coaching, I can get her to a specific level, and she can have great results, and she can give me a brilliant testimonial. But in my heart, I know that is not serving her. She wants this other piece. She wants someone to fight for her dreams and for her heart's whispers, and no one else has done it. Mm. And then she found me, and I'm going to fight tooth and nail. It doesn't mean that we're not going to do photography. It doesn't mean we're not going to find ways to bring in multiple sources of revenue, but things are going to shift. She no longer gets to walk around with her arms cut off.
Mhm.
And so,
I love that. I
yeah,
really do. And I love
yeah,
that, you know, you're connected to your illumination. Like you said, you want to help women find their voice and share it with the world.
yeah,
And so when you listen from that place.
yeah,
And then that light then helps to shine on the things that are really asking to be brought forward and to be the voice for that person. And that is really beautiful. I love that example that you gave. And, you know, I can see that, yeah, she can coach people, help them connect to their ancient soul, and then take a photo of them. She can like take before and after photographs of them.
exactly. That's exactly what we talked about doing. So, and that never occurred to her because she never felt like she was able or someone understood that there was a piece missing. And so when you get really good at like dialing into your ideal clients, when you're able to step into their lives, you can feel it. Like when we started talking yesterday, I was getting agitated and I was like, something's off. I just knew it. Like, she's a brilliant photographer. Why wasn't she was doing everything right. Why wasn't she making what she wanted to make? Why was she struggling? And I could feel the agitation. And when she said it, I knew exactly what had happened. And I just was like, I was so mad. I was like, give me the names of those coaches. I want to call them up right now. I was so mad that coach after coach and person after person kept telling her, no, do this. And I was like, you don't need permission, but I'm giving it to you. No more. No more settling. And it's because I'm empathically connected with her. And I do believe that sort of connection can be taught and can be learned. And I take my clients through a process. It's a pretty long process, and I'm going to share a little bit of it with you today. Just a few questions to ask to really be able to step into your ideal clients' lives and to really understand where they're coming from, so that when you're talking to them on the phone, or if you don't have a business, if you're talking to someone, a family member or something, and you just need to understand why they're doing what they're doing, these questions may help. And I think it's a really powerful way of kind of showing up, because it's in complete service to the other person and not to yourself. Which I imagine that if we were a world of people that showed up in service to others, it would probably be a nicer place. Not that it's not lovely here on earth, but it could be better. We could have more compassion.
There's always improvements to be made.
Exactly.
All this contrast that we experience, can be lessened to a certain degree when we bring in those 4 C's, like you were saying, compassion for other people, but also for ourselves and for the things that we are experiencing, to be a part of community, for that connection. Yeah. We all desire connection. That's what I believe we came here for. I mean, we have our senses for a reason. We need to really begin to celebrate these senses and start to use them. And, by doing the exercise of embodying your ideal client, that's what you get to do. You get to embody them so that you can reach out to them, you can lift them up, you can get that connection, build that community, and then, really foster compassion and spread it out into the world.
Yeah, I love it. Oh,
it's juicy. It's juicy.
It is. And it's so needed. It's so much needed in business, in the world, in ourselves. I mean, I always think about the 4 C's outside, but you just reminded me I need to think about it inside as well. Connecting to myself, internal creativity, radical compassion for myself, and connecting to the universe, my soul, my heart, my spirit, every day. If we just did that for ourselves and for everyone else, I think our lives would be infinitely more fulfilled.
Well, for sure. I mean, when we do those things, we do feel like we're being supported. And, it's nice to have the support from a physical person, but to also feel supported when you're on your own by everything that is available to us, and that just adds to everything. We can add good things to our days, to our lives, to our businesses. We don't have to, keep looking at what's being taken from us. We can bring things in.
I actually wrote a quote this morning. I was listening to a meditation and it kept repeating, there is great love here for you.
Mm.
And that to me was like, it hit my heart so much. So I was like, there's great love here for you. And, you know, and I just was like, wow, thank you. Like, I just feel like sometimes we need to be reminded for that. And that's how I want my clients to feel. That's how I want my family to feel. That's how I want, you know, everyone to feel. And really, I think the best way to do that is through compassion and empathy and embodying those around you so you can understand what they're going through. So are you ready for the questions?
I am ready. Let's go.
All right. So some of these may sound familiar if you've gone through any sort of messaging or branding exercise, but we're going to go a little deeper on the questions. So the first one is to imagine stepping into their shoes. Like, the goal is to really know them so well that you can not only think like them, but speak like them and experience their emotions. So I always have someone imagine that you're sitting at your favorite place. Maybe it's a coffee shop, maybe it's at the park, maybe it's at the hair salon, wherever you are that you just really love to kind of hang out. And your ideal client walks up, and I want you to imagine every single thing about them. What are they wearing? What are they holding? What does their hair look like? Are they happy? Are they excited? Are they sad? Do they have kids with them? Are they put together? You know, they come and they sit down with you. What do they order? What do they do? And I really want you to just imagine having this entire conversation with them, and you're just listening. And you really, like, you closing your eyes and you're just imagining what it is that they're saying. What words are they using? What do they sigh around? What are they stressed out about? What are they excited about? So you're really just having a heart-to-heart conversation with this ideal client. And it may feel like you're guessing, or that you are pushing it, or that you're making like stuff up. But I really want you to stop and just trust that the vision that you're getting is the one that's for you and your ideal client. So it's beyond just what are they thinking. I really want you to just feel into it, like deeply commit. Like, if with your eyes closed, if you take a sip of coffee, I want you to physically do it. Like, I want you to physically go through the emotions or go through the physical ness of being in front of your ideal client, because that helps the experience. It brings it to life. And it may feel silly, but I really think that piece of it just is one level deeper than what you normally would go through when it comes to messaging.
Mm-hmm. And that makes sense. I mean, they talk about, pro athletes visualizing in their mind their race or whatever it is that they're going to do. And that even when they're just visualizing it, their muscles and everything in their body is firing off like they're actually doing it.
Exactly.
And this makes sense to do this with your ideal client, because it is your body and your mind really believes that you are there having this experience. Yeah.
And you have to also know and trust that the universe has already connected you with your ideal clients. So this isn't something that hasn't happened. It has, but just not physically. So when you go through the emotions and you're telling the universe, I know that you've already picked them out for me. I want to know more about them. And so, like, when I'm trying to fill up my programs, I do some small group training programs. I always just put out to the universe, I want 6 beautiful souls. I know they're already there. Please reveal them to me. And sure enough, they find their ways. And I have no sort of expectation around what they look like or what they do or how much money they make. I just know that the right ones will come my way because I'm calling them forward, because I've already experienced who they are and what they want.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is, and we hear this one a lot, and it is what wakes your ideal client up in the middle of the night? What's their 3 a.m. in the morning problem? And that's a really good one. And that is very much fight or flight mode. So they're like, when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're worried about paying the bills or losing your house. And that's very much the cycle of drama that goes on in your head around, it creates adrenaline, and it kind of gets you taking action, and you're either going to do something and make it happen, or you're going to just let it all go and go find a real job or do something else. That's good to know, but I'm more interested in knowing what keeps you awake
Mm.
What keeps you from going back to bed? Once you've woken up and said, I can't pay my bills, and you kind of start thinking through the solution, what keeps you up? And so that is usually something like, it's where the voice comes in, the chatter, and you're saying, oh, my husband thinks I'm a failure. My parents aren't proud of me. My child sees me struggling. She's going to think that I can't do it. That is what I want. That's what keeps us up. And that's what I want us to start thinking about, because those questions are where we can offer our solutions. So when we're writing copy, we can say, if you're worried that your parents will never be proud of you, or that your husband thinks that you're wasting your time, then this is the solution that I can offer you. And it's much more valuable to know that about your clients than what wakes them up at night. Everyone worries about money. Everyone worries about their health, or like there's not something that wakes you up that because you wake up because you're scared or you're anxious. That's pretty basic, but what is underneath that?
Yeah, I love that. I really love that. That makes so much sense, and it gives you a more complete picture.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you more to talk about as well.
Exactly.
Sometimes when we're marketing and creating programs and doing the other things before a launch, we get this fear that we're not going to have enough.
Exactly.
But by going that extra step, that's going to give you that extra information, and then it's going to spark your creativity and your compassion and connection and community. And then
Exactly. And it's one of those where it's just a layer deeper. Like you really just, it's what is the conversation that's going on in their head. So, the question I like to always ask is, when they are approached with the solution, what is the conversation that goes on in their head that keeps them from saying yes? And there is even if they're a yes, there's a yes, but normally. Mm-hmm. So what is it that's going on? What are they saying? Is it yes, but it's not for me, or no, because I don't have the money? But what's behind the no, I don't have the money? Because it's never about money, and it's never about time. Mm-hmm. Because we find the time, we find the money. Mm-hmm. If it's something that's really important. And I say that with the idea of knowing that there are times when the money is just not there. And I totally get it. But if something were to happen and there was an emergency that popped up, we would find money if it was super important to us. So don't want to like let people off the hook for saying, well, I don't have the money. If you did have the money, what would still be keeping you from saying yes? So some of it is all the emotional baggage that's attached to change. If you change or if you find success, will people not recognize you? I've got a friend that's going through this right now where she's lost all of her friends because her business took off and her friends are not entrepreneurs and they have no idea what's going on. They don't understand how she can go out and all of a sudden start buying all this stuff and hiring teams and being like a totally different person than she was 3 months ago. And she's lost them because they don't get it. And that for her is a real fear that's come to life. And so she's dealing with it. So, what are you afraid that people are going to think if you take action? What is it that if you take action and you say yes and it doesn't work, what does that mean about you? Or what are you going to believe about yourself? Get into the chatter that's going on about what they believe about who they are and what is that. All of us have this sort of cycle that we go through that it's just a pattern where it's, I take really great action and then I try to do too much and then I fail and then I'm back where I started but worse, and now I have less money. We all have this pattern that we go through, so that when we know, if we can catch them in the pattern, we can help shift the pattern, and that's what gets them to yes. And this isn't manipulation, and it's not anything but getting them to yes.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's connecting them back to their own inner light that's been covered up by all the crap that they've experienced and all the things that people have told them they can and can't do.
Exactly.
And that's service.
Exactly.
And it really is coming from service, and it's coming from someone who has that experience in some way themselves. And so they're there to help you get through that pattern because they themselves have broken through it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And then, I always, take people through what they want and what they don't want. And that really is just getting under the layers. Like, yeah, we want more money, we want more time, but what does that mean? What does more time look like? What does more money look like? What does that mean for your kids? What does that mean for your family? What does it look like? So getting you to step into their ideal scenario for saying yes to working with you, or saying yes to the solution that you're offering. It may not be working with you. It may just be attending a webinar or downloading an ebook or something like that. So to really understand the chatter that's going on in their head, the patterns that they're kind of finding themselves stuck in, the excuses that they are using for not buying and not making change, that's where you kind of want to dig in and really feel into what they're going through. And then the last little thing that I always think is a lot of fun is that I ask clients to write their dream testimonial. So say that they worked with the person that's sitting in front of them, they've worked with them in their whatever program that they work with them in, or that you've, if you're not in business, you've offered this solution and they've taken it and they've said yes. Fast forward and say, what does that look like? What would your ideal client, or the person that said yes, what would they say about it? So a lot of times it is, like the example I use for me is like, I want my ideal clients to say, Kristina was amazing to work with. I felt really supported. She made me feel like I was her only client, that she showed up ready and on time. And I loved working with her, and she made me feel heard. Like, that would be a dream ideal client testimonial for me. And then what I can do is I can take that, and then I can kind of say, okay, well, this is how I want my business to run. If that's the dream testimonial I want, I better make sure that everything that I do gets me to that dream testimonial, and that I'm serving them in the best way possible so that this is the experience that they have. So it's like reverse engineering your embodying process.
I love that. And that's so complete. First, it's really knowing about what lights you up. It's getting in touch with what lights you up. And then, okay, how do I connect that to my ideal client? And then getting inside their head, going that level deeper into their mind chatter, into those patterns, into those excuses, so that you can really hold that space and serve them. And then knowing too what you want to get out of it. It brings that all full circle. Wow. And it makes so much sense.
Oh, I'm so glad.
It really does. Thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Oh, you're so welcome.
It. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people watching this that are going to get a lot out of it. And, using it in your business and in your family. I mean, if you are struggling with a family member, how much, this could really help you to bridge the gap that you're currently feeling with them, so that you can meet them where they are, and then they can really feel supported, rather than, the tug of war that happens, or the push and pull that happens, in our personal relationships. So thank you so much. Now,
you're welcome.
You've got an offer that you'd like to share with the people that are watching. About that.
Yeah. So I've got a list of questions that can help you help you embody your ideal client, that I'm going to turn into a PDF and give away to your audience. And I want to encourage, it's really, really, really difficult to do this for yourself, because what happens is when you're answering questions for yourself, you think with your head. And what I want is for you, these answers to come from your heart. So I want to encourage everyone to download the questions and then team up with someone, whether it's an accountability partner, a coach or someone, and then have them ask the questions to you and record it, because I want you to listen to it back and hear the inflection in your voice. Where do you start talking really fast? Where do you slow down? Where do you get excited? And that right there will tell you a lot about what you're saying and if it's the truth, because you will know when you're lying when you hear it played back. And you will not know that when you're typing it out and you're trying to answer the questions yourself. So I'm going to send over the questions, but with the stipulation that you have to not do it yourself.
Yeah, I love that again. And that creates, all of those things that we were talking about: compassion, connection, creativity, and community. And that's something that I really do believe serves us so much. I mean, as entrepreneurs, a lot of the times we try to do everything by ourselves, and that's where most of the struggle comes. So to invite ease, find an accountability partner, and ask each other the questions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow, wonderful. It's been so wonderful to connect with you today.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for everything that you've shared, for your big heart, for your beautiful light, and for, the gift of really helping other women find their voice so that they can bring their gifts and their light to the rest of the world.
Oh, thank you so much. It was such an honor.
Thank you.